Good morning.
Good morning.
Happy New Year. 2024, as Matt said, is going to be our year. A lot happened just, in the last 6-7 months. So, without further ado, Lance mentioned Power BI and all kinds of stuff, and $20 per user for Power BI. So how is that possible? So if you were to get your own Power BI or Tableau or Domo or other account, you'd be paying a lot of money for each API connection. So the average is about $1,500 per account that has connections, and then $20 per user. So what we're doing is baby steps. First, I've overhauled the GA4 setup and provided custom dashboards, which we'll get to very quickly. But we're also in the process of bringing in, through custom API into Mariposa and Hummingbird, GA4 information, so you don't have to manually go, oh, here's my leads from Mariposa, and here's my new users and sessions from GA4. Now you'll be able to see that in Mariposa and Hummingbird. We're overhauling how Mariposa and Hummingbird categorize leads, conversions. We're standardizing according to, data science industry standards. And let me back up and introduce myself first before I start talking. I have over 20 years as a marketing director. I have a master's degree in business, a master's degree in psychology, and graduate certificates in marketing analytics and data science from Cornell University. So I'm not guessing, I'm here to do the work and get results. So back to the dashboard. So we start out with overhauling GA4, getting insights and dashboards that owners in our industry can use, not just general, oh, you're these new users, but what does it mean to me? Well, let's find out what it means to you. Let's do the work. And then we'll bring it into Mariposa and Hummingbird. Now you can see things on your dashboard. But the third step is if Mariposa and Hummingbird are connected to Power BI, well, that's the main connection. And then all of you are users. So that's how you get $20 for a custom business intelligence dashboard that will take all that information from both GA4 and Mariposa and Hummingbird and be able to project, well, based on what's happened in the past year or the past quarter, what can we expect next quarter? What are the trends? And then in visual format, you can easily see what trends are coming up. So that's just a preview of what you'll be shown in the afternoon session. And then here's some updates on GA4. So if you have more than one property, it's been difficult to get information on your portfolio as a whole and then on the individual properties, right? So what we used to do is create a GA4 master, which was great for you to see overall how many people went to your site, abcstorage.com. But if you wanted to see each location, we had to create a separate GA4 property for each facility. And if you wanted to compare facilities, you had to click back and forth between the different GA4 properties to view the reports. If you had a custom report that you wanted for your facilities, you had to create it on all those GA4 properties. And if you wanted to compare them, you probably had to export them or do some reporting gymnastics on your GA4 master. So I hear you barking, big dog. The new GA4, here's Storelocal. This is the GA4 master. First off, if you notice, we're reporting revenue. And this is, again, baby steps. So GA4 can only record the transaction that occurred on the website. So if you had a $1 move-in, it's going to record that $1. But we're going to pull this user traffic acquisition information into Mariposa Hummingbird, and then those will pull your actual rental, ARR, MRR, etc. So again, baby steps. But we are able to record revenue, and instead of the GA4 master and a separate property for each facility, each Storelocal owner has their own GA4 master now, which allows us, we have a custom dashboard. So we have a custom dashboard that the store local master can pull by owner name. So let's say I just want to look, so-and-so says, hey, I'm worried about my facility. Great, let's take a look. Or we can say, I just want to look at every facility. And the way we're able to do this is by using a lookup table on the GA4 master. We worked with the dev team, and via JavaScript, every time an event occurs on the Mariposa website, it pushes out not only the event information and the revenues and product associated with the purchase, but it also says, here is the owner ID, the facility ID, the store local master for each owner, and then if they're using PPC, we enter in the Google Ads conversion ID label for each conversion. We enter the Facebook pixel, and now instead of having a million tags, if you have 7 tags to measure events on your GA4, you've got to recreate those 7 tags for every facility. Well, now we just have those 7 tags on the GA4 master that reference the lookup table and know which facility ID and owner ID to associate that event with. It's a smarter way of doing it. It's how much larger companies with many facilities operate, and I'm proud to bring you this new format. So let's go back to our dashboard. So Store Local as a whole can see their web traffic, all the main reports, and we're going to continue adding to this. I can see most of Store Local traffic came from paid search, second in line was direct, and third was organic. We can see conversion performance, and we can see how the facilities are doing, stacked up next to each other, etc. We can also create a custom dashboard for each owner, which defaults to their owner ID, so there's no privacy issue of, oh, everyone at Store Local is seeing everyone else's facilities. Not anymore. So here, Jesse, thank you for letting me use an example. We don't know what to call them. There's just, bitter key log, cedar bitter. So these are just his facilities. This is past 30 days. He can sort by facility name. He can say, I want to see all of them, or I just want to see Eagles Parkway. You can say, you know what, I really just want to see my Oklahoma facilities. I just want to see my Texas facilities. And without having to leave the dashboard, you can just cycle through facilities by state, by dimension, by event name. I want to see purchases. I want to see rentals by state, by facility. I want to see my web traffic, my top channels. Hey, paid search, what a surprise. Anyone want to talk about marketing? See me later. And again, same thing, conversion, performance, facility performance, but we can also connect your Google Ads account and pull in your basic campaign and conversion metrics so that you don't have to switch back and forth. And we can visualize it so that you don't have to look at boring tables all the time. You can sort by conversions, by conversion rate, by cost, etc. So that's that.
Now, I just want to reiterate to everyone in case you missed it. You're all going to get this now for your individual portfolios that you can access at any time for investor reports, for your own information. It's all going to be available now to you to slice and dice in the same way that she's showing it for Keylock, but specifically for your portfolio. That's a huge
template we
deal.
have to set up ourselves?
No,
No.
you're going to be handed it.
Nice.
Yeah, we'll just send you an invite when it's ready. We're putting some finishing touches on it. We want to do some things that are in table form. We want to be able to show in a graph and time series. So we're just wrapping it up over the next 2 weeks. And we'll start. Look out for an invitation to your dashboard.
Nikki, have we
got our due diligence to the point to know whether we can expose this in Hummingbird?
I only know from Gander that they started bringing in GA4.
No, like we're bringing.
We can iframe this.
We can.
We can totally iframe this right here.
And have a single sign-on.
Yeah, we can iframe this into America's, yeah.
So the idea there, like you'll see in the demo on the BI tool, is that you just go to Hummingbird login, hit the report button or whatever we're gonna call it, and you just have it right there. You're not hunting for other logins, you're not searching for anything. It's just there anytime you open up your software.
Yeah, but baby steps, right? The first step is you'll get an invitation to your dashboard. It's real time. You can come in and say, I'm going to change the date range. Now, the only downside is that I created the owner GA4 properties on December 21st of 2023. I wanted to make sure I have them so that if your end of year 2024, you wanted to see a full year, or in 2025, you want to compare year over year, we have all of 2024 data. But if you want anything before December 21st, your old properties are still there. So it only pulls in from the time the
But they won't be here.
They won't be here, they'll still be available.
That's anybody with GA4, I guess.
Well, and everything's on the Storelocal master. So if someone needs something, feel free to reach out, right? But you have, everyone has access to their old individual analytics properties. So you've got your data from the time you started until December 21st, 2023. Okay, so let's transition quickly to SEO. And I'd like to give you an analogy to how I like to explain SEO. I travel a lot. If you've ever flown in a plane at night over an isolated, unpopulated area and everything just looks black. You can't tell, am I over land or over water? And then all of a sudden you see some lights, right? Maybe a small city looks like this. And you're like, cool, the city. And then you fly over Berlin. And it looks like that. So if you think of Google's crawler bots just going out over the web, the lights are the keywords, and the roads and bridges that connect everything are your hyperlinks. So what we're trying to do is build a bigger and bigger network. So when Google crawls storelocal.com, it's going to find more. It's going to say, wow, this is a big entity. We need to give it some respect, right? We need to start showing it more. This is formidable. It keeps updating new content. It's got all the cylinders firing, right? So that's my little analogy. And then let me show you our progress over the past 12 months. I was hired in May and I immediately started doing technical SEO. Cleaning up the core vitals, making sure things were tagged, meta tags, alt tags, meta descriptions, doing keyword research on high volume keywords and making sure they were populated throughout the site. And then in June and July, I started doing press releases. And if you've ever done a press release, you get a report, a distribution report saying this many websites picked up your release. And a lot of times it's Yahoo Finance, Google Finance, and those sites have a lot of traffic. So we released 12 press releases in 6 months, and it really helped. So the combination of all the things, plus we have 2 dedicated SEO experts just working on each facility's local SEO, but we're always linking back to elements on the main domain, storelocal.com, and doing internal linking in other areas, other blog posts or about us pages on the local sites. So we've got this big hyperlink network. and you've got me doing SEO on the brand domain. So you can see that it's working. And then next, we'd like to roll out press release program for all these store local operators, where you can just fill out a form and say, for this facility, here's the URL, I want to announce this. Could be I promoted someone to CEO or district manager, whatever.
Charity drive or.
I did a charity drive. I won an award, best local business from the Chamber of Commerce or something. Here's a quote, links to some of your other facilities. Tell us about your company. Who can we contact if we have more questions? Who needs to approve this? We'll write it for you. We'll release it for you. We'll make sure all the SEO good stuff is in there, all the links, all the keywords. And if everyone does this, this is just going to keep growing and growing and growing, right? But I'm going to transition into what Travis and I are going to talk about next. So,
Well, before you do that, just really quickly, again, that is going back, and it's a phrase that I'm going to be using over the next few months, but it's that power of more again. We've got 88 stores that have things happening at them. And if we're posting press releases on what's happening at those stores, the multiplication and the amplification of all of those press releases going out at a low price of $150 a pop, which if you've ever gone to PR Wire yourself, it's a smoking deal. Getting that information out there and building those backlinks will be a huge benefit, again, to everyone because of the backlinking strategy that Niki's employing.
yeah, and here's an example of a local, many of you have seen your local SEO rank tracker and local grid search reports that we provide. It shows how you're ranking locally in organic desktop, organic mobile, and local finder, which is the map results that everyone clicks on. Super important to rank on maps, right? So this customer has been with us since September 2023. They don't all look like this. Sometimes we're just fighting the competition, right? Extra Space and Public are putting a lot of money into local SEO, and we're fighting them. But if all of our stores are getting this kind of attention with dedicated SEO reps, and we're doing the bigger initiative with PR, it's just going to keep. We're all helping each other by helping ourselves. The more we improve each facility's ranking, the more it's going to improve the domain. It's like a just mushroom effect. So, but what happens if some of the facilities are getting dinged for SEO violations? It just bursts our whole bubble, right? So, let's briefly look at a history of enforcement guidelines from Google, right? I remember the old days of SEO. I'm older than I look, I hope. I remember when, a good SEO strategy was to take a site, put a bunch of pages on it, duplicate it, and link to it. So it literally was the same site, and you would just have many copies of it to make Google think you were that big city at night. And Google said, no. We're not going to have a bunch of tricksters dirtying up the web with a bunch of garbage and duplicate. You think you're going somewhere and it's the same place and you just got in on a different landing page. No. So now, was it 2012, they released Panda and Penguin, and then everything was original content. And then it was not just original content, but timely. You should regularly be posting original content, but not all at once. You can't just dump 500 pages of original content. That's fishy. We want people that are contributing real, valid information to the web to make the web a resource, not a bunch of junk, not a bunch of scammers. And then the same thing with paid ads. You may have had to verify yourself as an advertiser. You can no longer advertise medical treatments. Right? These are all in responses to things that shady people have done to use Google to, to scam people.
We had to do a Google verification yesterday
Yesterday.
where we had to reach out to the on-site manager, and they have to record a video walking around the facility, go outside, yep, that's our sign, and that's our business license, and yes, this is a real place, and hi, I'm the manager. And it's a minimum 2-minute, but not to exceed 5-minute video that then you upload to Google for them to re-verify you as a legitimate place of business.
Yeah, so you have to verify yourself as an advertiser for PPC, but you also have to verify your business, and that's critical to appear on maps, right? So you don't just upload a video, you will click on a link and a video will start recording from the Google platform to make sure nobody's editing a video, right? They're so serious about it. Why is that? So, okay, first there was all this duplicate content to cheat SEO, and then to get national SEO, what companies were doing was pretending they had a business in each city. So they create a website for ABC Storage. Well, I'm not going to say storage is a local business, but if they had a national business, they would create fake websites in each city, so they would rank in each city. And then Google cracked down and said, no, you need a location, and they rolled out maps. And people started getting PO boxes, or there's plenty of mailbox services where you have an address, like 451 PCH, but you don't have a box number, it doesn't say PO box, so they were using those to pretend they had a location. And now Google said, no, we need to see that your business is at this location. You're not creating a fake business to get SEO traction in another area or to get nationwide traction by pretending you have businesses across the country. So all these rules and guidelines, it seems like a pain in the butt, but it's really to make the web a better place to find what you're looking for, to find accurate information for all users. So they are not only checking to make sure, yes, I own this facility, this is my business license, I'm here at the store, here's my sign, but for both SEO and PPC, they're checking to see if your sign matches the name on your business profile, the URL on your ads. So what happens when you go to storelocal.com but you see Brentwood self-storage? What do you think Google thinks? Is this not legitimate? Are they saying there's someone? They're saying there's someone. They're not. I don't know what this is. This doesn't make sense to me. They're either a scammer or their business isn't legit, or they're not fully open yet, or something. I got to bump this down in the rank.
And AI's made it so easy for Google to track all this.
Yeah, they can scan your image. And,
They have all that.
Well, not just the image, but those cars that were driving around doing Google Street View, taking pictures of everything that it saw. They're not just taking pictures of streets, they're reading those signs now. If they drive by and say, yeah, that car was here at that building and that's the sign. And so that's what, when we get to that point, that's when we get to the brand guidelines.
Can you actually quantify what the penalty is if you have a situation like this? Like, is it, you're below the fold, you're on page 2, you're no longer on maps? Or is it sort of happens over time, or sometimes it doesn't happen, where you have the situation and that person still ranks and still shows on maps?
I don't know. I mean, they change their algorithms all the time, and they don't release. We will deduct 3 points for this or 4 points for that. You will stop ranking. You will decrease in ranking. If they find an obvious flag, it will be sudden. If they're scanning and there's just a few things that don't match, like tracking numbers are like my nemesis right now, because in the old days you could say, I'm going to put this phone number on Facebook and this phone number in my Google Ads, and this phone number on my website, and this phone number on my sign, and this phone number on Instagram, and you go in your little call tracking dashboard and go, oh, I got 5 calls off my flyer. Well, now Google says, what are you doing with all those phone numbers? Who are you? What's your main number? How are people going to reach you on Maps? We're creating a Maps page for you, and if they can't reach you, that's not good for us. That's not good for the internet. Show us that one phone number on all your properties on the web that are associated with your domain name.
And Niki, you're always trying to read and anticipate and keep us clean, right? Because like we've seen in the past where something like this might exist and everything appears fine, and then Google updates its algorithms, and the next morning you're in a penalty box. overnight, right?
Yeah, so I tell people, if you meet a digital marketing person and they say, I'm an expert and I know everything and I'm gonna just walk away, because you're only an expert until the next algorithm change. And then you're like back to school going, holy shit, what am I gonna do, right? It's a constantly keeping up, subscribing to blogs, talking to people. We have, if you've ever heard of Michael Cottom, he's a SEO, local SEO, well-respected person. And same thing, and that's why I love him. He knows he's in it all day. He's just keeping up with it all the time. And he'll say the same thing, like, we'll say, oh, thank you, you know so much. And he'll say, I know, right now, you're on edge, right? And there's a saying, I don't remember, I'm gonna find the actual quote and share it with the dev team, but there's a saying, like, if you're in data science, it's really nice, except that you're on fire. You're just on fire all the time. So it is keeping up, looking ahead, and adjusting. We're always adjusting. And we've heard people say, I used to be able to use these tracking numbers. I used to be able to do this. Well, Google changed, but we got to keep up. We got to keep up, or we'll fall behind.
It's really easy to fall in trap. My property management company literally went in just very recently and took all of these vote numbers and threw them all over the place. And then all of a sudden we're like watching things decline, and we're like, what's going on? Right? They didn't think they were hurting, but they did.
Well, and so that's, again, not that I'm selling you all, but that's the importance of what Storelocal Storage offers the independent
Best
operators.
practices.
You guys aren't going to keep up with this crap. I don't keep up with this crap. It's a full-time job and a staff of people to keep up with the best practices for your website and what needs to happen for your e-commerce site. And as Storelocal Storage members, we've got that team that's got your back doing that for you so that you can focus on the day-to-day at your store. So,
That ride down, like in my instance, right, the team caught it very quickly. So it was a short trip down, but in SEO, that ride down is a lot faster than the ride back up. So you hurt yourself, getting back to just where you were is a lot of work. So, measure like 36 times and cut once.
Yeah, and the way we found that was you can't run Google Ads to a redirected URL, because that's what scammers did. Hey, click here for this, lose 10,000 in 3 days. And it's a redirect, and it takes you somewhere else, then you find out you've been scammed, and the company's not real. That's why all this verification happened, right? So they also check to make sure your business name on your landing page matches the domain name, that URL that you're sending your ads to. They scan the content of your landing page, and if you've ever seen an optimization score, the more of the keywords that you're using in your ads have to be on your page. So my team is trained to, if they're not getting a good optimization score, they're going to go in and edit your about, your FAQs, and make sure that your ads match what's on your page. And if your phone number changes from the phone number in the ad, your ad will stop running. There'll be a big red triangle that says destination mismatch.
What if you had legacy URLs that you had used in the past, you then forward to your new URL? So if you converted facility to Storelocal and it was called CNN Self-Storage for 20 years and had been on the internet for a long period of time, and you then forward that URL to Storelocal, then is that then going to create a penalty situation going forward because it's no longer?
No, but so you wouldn't send ads to the redirected. You would send it to storelocal.com. You will see a dip for about 3 months, and then you'll start ranking because we've got domain authority. Woohoo! Who's got that domain authority? Right. Jesse, how's your traffic? You moved all your stores over to Storelocal.
Yeah, just increasing. I mean, you guys just saw our metrics on it. I think there's 100% plus in pretty much every category up there. Good website performance. Website Go to the
Website,
website.
website.
There you go.
Yeah,
I mean, crazy, right?
Yeah, so 172% increase in new users in the last 30 days.
In the slow season.
Yeah.
We're in Idaho and Oklahoma.
Not in Orange County. Palm Springs, that's really interesting.
I will say that we do take, the marketing team takes our job very seriously. We've had, I mean, the market dipped in July and August, and it was very clear to us that operators were depending on us for their business. We take it very seriously. It's not like we're gonna just create some ads and if they work, they work, if they don't, they don't. My team will get in trouble if a location goes 3 weeks without a conversion. They have to reach out for help. And we all help each other. We all have different strengths and different backgrounds. We all help each other. But I feel like I'm taking up too much time.
Now,
You want to talk about?
you're the star of the show. Any questions for Niki?
What could they do within their businesses to increase conversions? So you're doing the job of getting stuff into the funnel, right? What should they be focused on? And then when something drops into that funnel.
Great question. So
Does he need a seat?
whenever we see it, you know, we're driving traffic to a site and it's not getting conversions, first we check for anything technical. We'll try A/B testing, doing a few different strategies, but we'll also, it just takes a minute to load. There's a lot of information on this report. I'm gonna load, there it is. We'll go in and check. So green is good, that means you're ranking in the top 3. 4 through 10 is orange, and 11 to infinity is red, and that's the red flag for us. But we can go in and say, who's the competition? I want to see who's moving in on them right here. So Aspen, A, Bonds, and Overflow have surpassed this location. So I'm going to go to each of these websites. I'm going to make an Excel sheet of their units and their pricing and their promos. And I'm going to contact the customer and say, we're getting traffic to your site. We're not seeing conversions. You're $30 more for a 5x10 per month. Or they're running a $1 move-in special, first month free, whatever. And maybe they'll listen. Hopefully they'll listen. And we are going to talk about some things in the afternoon session with Sneha, where if you're trying to focus on something like RV storage, boat storage, parking, we can create query parameters. I think I had it up. I took it down because we're going to show it later. Here it is, okay. So just pretend you didn't hear this before when we get to the afternoon session. So you can actually create social posts with a URL parameter. So here is national, I did a search here for national self-storage in Marana, Arizona. These were my results. I found national self-storage. We had just put up a post. What's this one? It's giving me a different view because I'm logged in. Here it is. So I created a post saying special $1 move-in on small storage units. Now, I don't know if I do it on small, but RV, parking, and boat, those we struggle. We really want to get those in front of certain people as opposed to just storage units in general. So if I click learn
Could
more.
be climate control, right? Could be ground level, could be drive up, like you could
Yeah.
focus in.
So here's nationalselfstorage.com, Marana, Arizona, and visitors got to say, okay, there's small, there's medium, there's large, there's extra large. What do I do? Too many decisions. Or I could come here. Oh, the small units, great, learn more. Just small. That's it. So we can do a separate, social post. We're testing it with PPC to make sure we don't get dinged for the URL parameters. We'll let you know. But this just came out. So you can kind of lead people down the conversion funnel that may have otherwise, I don't have time for this. There's too much.
Will you be able to update the banner for those as well? So, I mean, that's saying 10 by 10s, but then smalls have no 10 by 10s, so. Is there gonna be
Talking the top
functionality
banner,
for
the red bar.
the red bar?
That's a
No,
snake.
you just can't have that.
Yeah,
Maybe
that's a snake
maybe
question.
You can't have that deal.
I'll put that on my list.
That's a snake question.
Yeah, that's not a dynamic, that's something you
Yeah, it's
can
not
set.
dynamic banner.
You don't have to have it on.
Yeah, you can do this.
But again, like, this demo purpose, like, we just decided to pick something. But now with this is live, like, you all have access to this now. You can choose a lot of things to drive in from. So it may be, it's friggin' 110 degrees out for the last week and you want to do specials on climate control. It may be that it's horrible rainstorm and you want to do something on covered living. I mean, you can do whatever you want. You can do that across all sorts of channels. Do that across social channels, you can do that across PPC, and you can drive customers right into those funnels. So if it were climate control, you have all those spaces available pre-selected. Those would be the ones that you'd see.
And again, baby steps. So creating the query parameters is just controlling what they're going to see on this one landing page. But we have in planning the idea of having separate landing pages. So you can create a landing page with a campaign for RV storage, boat storage, climate controlled, and that landing page has an evergreen URL. That URL will be there, so it will be nationalselfstorage.com/storage units Arizona Marana /RV storage, and there'll be space at the bottom where we can put in SEO content, all those RV keywords. So not only is it, so the first step is let's get them through the funnel where they see what they're looking for, and the next step is let's have pages that we can send ads to that are building SEO traction for this nationalselfstorage.com domain, with links to their business profile, to their blog posts, to their about page, etc.
You mentioned blog posts, Niki. I know in some of the committee meetings, we talked about Storelocal Storage members being able to post blogs to storelocal.com.
Right.
Can you tell us where we are with that?
We are in the final stages of releasing what's called a local blog. So previously, if you created a blog post and you're a Storelocal brand member, that blog would just show up on the company blog and it would be just part of this big sea of blog posts. And so now the company blog will still be there. But there's an option to create a local blog, and you can assign a blog post to a facility, and then if you have more than one blog post assigned to that facility, it will create a blog listing page. So you could have, let's go to, so this one, there's blog, then there'd be local blog. And you would just see the blogs related to that facility, which is beneficial for capturing local keywords like, where are we, Brentwood, California? Okay, what are the top 10 things to do New Year's Eve in Brentwood, California? Why would you want to see that on storelocal.com? So we're going to get all these local keywords We're gonna link to their business profile, link to their Facebook, link to this landing page, link to their other pages, link to their press release, and build up this little local network for this facility. And of course, all those will link back to storelocal.com, so we get that Berlin from a plane at night.
Just like the press release.
Right. I hear you barking, big dog. I got you.
Any other questions for Niki?
Thanks, Gary.
Brian?
Just like rough, what's our ETA on the local bond?
Weeks. Couple weeks.
The small units that you were showing, was that a unique URL? It's like a filter.
Yeah, Sneha will show you how it's done, but you have to be on a new template. And then she'll show you what it pulls from, so you'll be able to create a URL that has query parameters, that when you land on the URL, it will only pull that unit type, that category.
Excellent, thank you, Niki.
So